single dollar of what is collected will go to Homes Victoria to maintain and build new homes that are available, not for a night or a weekend, but they're a roof over someone's head.
Michael Crosby is Head of Public Policy at Airbnb. Michael, what do you think? Is this a fair decision?
Well, what we've seen today is a good call on the housing package. We think it's a great idea that there is actually a way of boosting the overall number of homes across the state of Victoria. Great suggestion, great policy. What we are concerned about is the rate of the levy which will be applied on short stay accommodation. At 7.5%, we think that's too high. It's out of whack with other jurisdictions and other locations around the world. The concern that we have is the way the levy is going to be applied, it's unequal. It's an unequal playing field, and it actually means that you're not paying that levy if you're particularly choosing particular types of accommodation, which we think is wrong. So
when you say it's unequal in that way, what do you mean? That you don't have to pay it for a hotel, but you do have to pay for an Airbnb? Is that the main thrust of your concern?
That's correct. The way that the government has announced this, that the 7.5% levy will apply just to short stay. We've always said that it should apply to all accommodation providers, and in that way, it would actually be a broader-based levy, and that meant that regardless of the type of accommodation that you chose to book, you'd be contributing to the government's housing package.
Yeah, but aren't they treated differently because they are different? So, for example, a hotel is not housing stock. Under almost no circumstances will it be housing stock, and therefore providing a hotel room for someone doesn't take a potential rental property off the market. Airbnb, I accept, not in all cases, but in many cases, will do that. And so it has to be treated differently if you're going to deal with the supply shortage.
Well, I think our view on that is that there should be a single levy applied across all types of accommodation, so that regardless of what type of accommodation you're booking as you travel around the state, you are contributing to that very worthy package that the government has announced today.
So, regardless
of whether
you
you
on
stay
that
in
point,
a short
Michael,
stay property.
I understand that. You said that. I get that idea, but it's not just about fundraising. It's also about the disincentive, if you like, for people to put properties that they have on Airbnb rather than rent them out. So there's something fundamentally different about short stay accommodation when compared to a hotel. That's the basis on which they're treated differently. Is there anything wrong with the way I've just formulated that?
Well, as the Premier himself announced today, short stay accommodation has a very important role to play within the economy. It provides a type of accommodation a lot of Victorians like to use as they're travelling around. Our concern is that a levy should be applied equally so that everyone is actually contributing equally to the housing package that he's announced.
Do you at least accept the proposition that short stay accommodation, to some degree, takes properties off the rental market, whereas hotel accommodation doesn't?
Well, we've always said that short stay accommodation is a very small percentage of the overall housing market, and when you look at the other factors which have contributed to the broader housing crisis, we are a small piece of that puzzle. But we've always said that we can contribute in meaningful ways to help come up with regulations and proposals to work with governments to actually make a real difference. And we've put forward proposals, including our own proposal for a visitor levy. But as I say, we think that the way that the Victorian government has announced this one today has got the balance wrong.
So it is a factor, and there are many other factors. Unfortunately, with housing, that's true of every factor. The problem is an aggregation of a whole lot of little factors, so you kind of have to take on the little factors. I suppose I'm interested philosophically. Would you support any response from government whose end result would be, and even aim would be, to reduce the number of properties on the short stay market and move them into rental accommodation?
We support regulation of the short stay sector. We want to make sure that people who want to share their home, be it their own home, a private room within their own home, or a holiday home that they're not using, that they can actually share those properties and actually continue to welcome visitors into communities so that guest spending can actually contribute to local jobs and the economy.
OK, Michael, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.